And welcome everybody to the Q Editor Station. And yes, that is a cat on the desk. And this is where a lot of the magic happens in post after this episode, before it goes live to YouTube. Well, granted, we are live, but there are some changes that are made to the YouTube version, obviously. And this week, we got a crazy episode, along with some technical difficulties, but hey, nothing we can't handle. So you better stay tuned. Watch the craziness happen. And welcome everybody to Get Tekt. We're here, as usual, with our weapons, I guess, on Get Tekt.
Welcome to Get Tekt, where shit just got real.
So here at Get Tekt Studios, again, every Wednesday, 7 p.m. And we got the whole team here, including some extras. So everybody knows the basic crew. We got myself, Observer Q. We got Zynga. We got the Tech Geek, and we got the Grim. And always Tony Campa.
Yeehaw.
And we have a special guest who'd like to announce himself.
Hi.
Yo.
Wobbles, everybody.
Penguin. Reluctant Wobbles Panda.
Yeah, I guess.
Man, that's an omnipotent sound, man. It's like all power.
Yeah, he's like,
Hello.
Grim, your streams suck.
He's the supreme being.
You could just work on your webcam actually being on instead of falling off your desk half the time. Might be better.
Hey, man, I'm trying with that webcam, dude. I play on a big screen, so like I've got issues where I'm always looking slightly to the right because I have the camera set up and I'm looking towards the big screen.
Yeah.
I don't care though. The quality is in the gameplay.
So, anyway, this first article we're going to bring up in a second here as soon as we can get... There we go. Alright, so this table that's made out of a cassette will bring nostalgia to any living room or setting you'd like to bring it to.
well, it's not exactly made out of a cassette.
Well,
It's-
no.
It looks like a cassette.
It looks like a cassette.
I was trying to find, I'm trying to add some musical technology to the thing, and this is all I could find today.
Well,
That thing's
it has like
I want it.
LEDs
Yeah, that's cool.
inside it. It's like Awesome Mix Volume 2. It's like,
Yeah. Isn't that from Guardians of the Galaxy?
Found it in the book.
I think it is actually. But yeah, there's like a few different models here. Like, it's just really cool. It's a neat idea.
Yeah.
I would buy it because I'm that jerk.
Does it play music at all?
No.
We used to make tapes, man, because we had dual deck boom boxes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Big one
I
with
remember that.
slow jams, you know what I mean? Oh, yeah.
Be sitting there waiting for your favorite song to come on. You're like, oh, there it is. Click.
That's it. You missed the beginning.
Had to rewind.
a tape full of songs like missing the beginning.
And then you decide to
What the heck
just
just
keep the
happened?
tape running. You get a bunch of crap you don't want.
Right.
Let me see. Oh, I know you did.
Careful.
So, speaking of nostalgic, so.
So this is real. Somebody's really making tables like that.
Oh yeah. You'll make
Yeah,
tables.
dude. I'm telling you, it's in chapter 3 of the Coffee Table Coffee book by Kramer.
Oh
All you
yeah.
gotta do is just find your way to it.
You can just close that one out.
You reach real far back, all the way back to the knees. Seinfeld reference.
Yeah.
Hurt my back doing it.
I don't hear a rumbling noise while
So the next article we won't get into yet because we don't want to get into that whole controversial yet, but we will later. Don't worry, folks. So Ford is planning to mass produce self-driving cars in 5 years. We've brought this subject up multiple times, and we've talked about the big accident that happened. It was like one accident, granted. It's one accident compared to like the
But somebody died in
the
it,
thousands
yeah.
of accidents that happen daily with cars with humans driving them. So we won't get into those statistics. But the fact is that 5 years we're gonna have self-driving cars possibly on the road, people, on the road. So anyway, self-driving cars. Tony Camper, you ready for self-driving cars being around the town?
I'm apprehensive about it. Although I've gone in public transportation and somebody else is driving the bus. As long as it obeys the rules. I mean,
Well, does that mean they'll have like self-ejecting cars too? So like it could pick up the local drunk, drive to his house, and just boot him out the door?
You know what will happen is people will get into the cars, they won't even be dressed. right? They'll jump in the car. They'll fix the cars and be set up in the back for you to get dressed in them. You won't even have a real back seat. It'll be like a little room in the back.
Well, think about
Johnny
it.
Cab.
They have assisted parking cars. They have, lane detection, hit monitoring, brake monitoring, accident detection. Why not?
We're about 40% there already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
5 years. A lot can change in 5 years, man. The technology can get really advanced.
Yeah, that's true.
Lots of advancements can happen.
But I would say, as far as like where it's going, because Google's obviously making the jump toward this. China's making a huge jump towards it. They want to be the first city to have self-driving cars across the board. Well, I think it's Beijing wants to have the first driving city, and for us to be like really forward making that step, it shows us kind of making the mark in the world, so we're not behind. I mean, we're moving forward where we should be. And granted, my own personal thing, I had a whole debate with this yesterday, with Maria about this, and it was like, robots, computers will make rational decisions. When humans involve their emotion, they make bad decisions one way or the other. Because it all comes down to a numbers game.
No, I agree. Like they even did, I believe MythBusters did. This is completely kind of off the subject, but they did gasoline tests, like whether running the waste more gas and keeping the windows down, or driving angry, will that waste more gas? And like you're right, like you said, emotions completely play the role in how you drive. I completely agree.
Yeah, and like decisions like if they're choosing to get into an accident here or get into an accident there, the human most likely will screw up so bad they're going to get hit both things.
Yeah.
Where the computer is going to choose the least one that's going to have the best option with the least damage, and it's going to be just that, and they'll be over. It's not going to emotionally get involved and just deal with it.
What if the computer chooses to risk the life of the driver to?
Well, but that'd be the smarter choice if that is if that's the low common denominator.
Yeah, but then you're taking computers into situations where they could literally be programmed for the safety of the car over the driver.
Well, no, it's not
because they don't want to screw with the car.
Well, no, it's not so much safety of the car; it's the safety of everything around it.
Dude,
if it knows it'll potentially kill more people by going into an accident than hurting the person that's driving the car, it's going to choose hurting the person driving the car because it saves more lives.
What is it?
Autopilot?
Yeah, what do cars have now? What's it called? Like what you said it.
Traction control?
Oh yeah, the traction control, the self-parking, stuff like that.
Yeah, man. Can you disengage it?
Yeah.
If you step on the brakes, can you control it? In other words,
yeah.
Or is it self-driving? You can't do anything about it.
I think they're going to start off with you can distinctly disengage it.
Cruise control.
Yeah, cruise control. That's okay. Yeah, and that's the beginning of self-driving cars right there, kind of. That was the beginning. If you think about it, like we're going to start off with having the option for the steering wheel, and I bet 50 years from now they're going to get rid of the steering wheel completely and give people zero option to even touch that car. I bet. Because at that point, we're going to have the statistics showing that when humans get involved, accidents happen more of a basis than when computers are involved 100%.
That's frightening.
We already have that statistics for the most part, but people don't exactly want to make that jump yet, I don't think. We can't deal with it as a society yet.
50 years is a long time.
It is a long time.
And you're suggesting that culture's going to accept that. And or culture won't have any choices, like somebody else is going to be making the rules, and we're just going to have to go along with it.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a disgusting concept.
It's safe to say that our government has changed an awful lot when it comes down to that. Because now, I'm not into somebody telling me that my car is going to make the decisions and I'm not. All right, there's still too much Yankee in me.
Disney has filed a patent for these things that are going to be supposedly for crowd interaction or game interaction. Nobody exactly knows. But they're going to be lightsaber-esque, and they're going to allow people to deflect lasers that are coming at them. Not real lasers, I'm sure. They're virtual lasers or whatever kind of lasers. But it's really interesting of what this thing is going to be. Is it going to be made for a virtual reality game, or is it going to be like it's really got people wondering? Maybe I'll see
a glorified Wiimote.
Well,
yeah.
You just told me, and I'm
agree.
not at all excited about it. Like, hooray! I don't need 100 peripherals. You want me to get the one that's shaped like a gun. You want me to get the one that's shaped like a sword. You want me to get the one that's shaped like a freaking hat. It's like, just give me the VR helmet. Give me some games that work with the controller, and shut the hell up.
I mean, is this like an interactive thing for one of their amusement parks? Like some special Star Wars all-in event?
Facebook.
Okay, the sound is coming through.
Facebook can't win against ad blockers, and here's the proof. So, we covered this story last week. And basically, Facebook is starting to put ads. And what's going to happen is basically, obviously, the ad blockers go ahead and they rewrite their own algorithm and they block the ads. Now, this has happened over and over again this week, to where I think Facebook is, for the most part, going to give up at this point because the ad blockers keep on winning. Which is funny because they thought they could actually beat, it's when you're facing, ad blocker corporations, they're out there to invest in that and block ads. So it's like, okay, who is all their business in one hand, and the other one's business is just social media? Who's going to give up first? Obviously, Facebook's going to give up first on this fact, I think.
Well, I think you're completely wrong about that.
Oh boy.
Nobody's winning. They're both causing hassles for the end user. One is a hassle of having to get the ad blocker, and the other is a hassle of having to deal with ads without it.
Well, no, it's like,
both of them's a hassle and a problem.
Well, no, like I've distinctly ran my ad blocker. I won't say which one it is because I don't want to give precedence to any one ad blocker or the other. But the fact is, I have not seen one ad on Facebook. That's how much they have kept up on top of this. I have never seen it once, even when they started.
I don't disagree with you on that. What I'm saying is, like, it's an argument. Like, the ad blocker is a necessity because the dicks are throwing them at us constantly. But they're both a freaking hassle to have to get the ad blocker because they're throwing the crap at us constantly, and then have to update it because they're throwing. It's just like.
Well, no,
it's the most annoying thing ever that the internet has become this stupid arms race of ad blocker versus ads.
But theoretically speaking, now think about that in the YouTube sense, or even on a Twitch sense. You have to subscribe to or become a turbo member like I am to block the ads on Twitch.
Yep.
And ads generate revenue for the Twitch user, for the content creator, as does YouTube. Now, if we were to make YouTube videos, for instance, and have ads running, and somebody said, "Oh God, this new keyboard's amazing, let's click on it." They click on that, buy a keyboard, that gives revenue to us.
Yeah.
I mean, ads have a purpose, just like commercials on a television. It all does the same thing. Is it annoying? Sure. But somebody's got to make money somewhere.
Well,
but that's the point. That's my point, right? Neither one of them are winning. One side with a giant list of people who want to stream and make money off of it, and the other side screwing over everybody by being a complete hassle and being too intrusive with it.
Well, yeah, like for instance, like people have distinctly gone Facebook for years and they don't want ads. So I think this is why the ad blocker corporations are really starting to keep up on the ads so much because they want to keep it pure the way it was.
That's not true at all. If you're saying corporation, they're just as bad. All they want to make money off it too, and they found their revenue pocket.
Facebook's really bad with it though. They use all sorts of different things to track what you search. Like, I started searching for cutting boards, really nice cutting boards for when I smoke meats and whatnot, and all of a sudden on Facebook I started seeing all these cutting board ads. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay. So
was that Facebook, or was that there's an ad service which does follow you around, and a lot of people use it. It's like Google.
I don't know. I truly don't know. I honestly don't know. You very well could be right. I'm not even going to argue that because I don't know.
Yeah.
Basically, a cottage industry has popped up with both sides making money off of it, and neither one of them is out for our benefit.
Or all be free on the internet.
Out to help anybody.
I agree.
And it really matters on the ad. It really distinctly does. I have ran some ads I've liked. And if they are dedicated toward your kind of that connoisseur of whatever else connoisseur you are of, if they're really prepared towards you, it makes sense and it doesn't bother you. But when you see ads for some strange who knows what kind of friggin' product, you're like, I don't even know what that is, let alone use it.
And I don't even mind ads, man. I just don't like these intrusive ads. Like, it started on television, They would put their little thing in the corner. I'm watching a program, let's say I'm watching a fishing show, and a thing would come up in the corner, right, about another program. Then it would get bigger, and then there were people running on the bottom of it. And it was like a whole section of my show with another thing going on at the bottom. And then ESPN came in, and I'm watching shows, and now all the scores from all the sports are underneath it. It's intrusive. It's like, I don't mind seeing a little something here and there, but now there's so many ads going on. I don't know what my program is that I'm watching.
Now, didn't they start? I mean, not to interject, but didn't they start doing that in movie theaters in like the late to early 70s, where they would do subliminal messaging? They would like flash like
Sure, man,
popcorn and stuff on the screen really quick to make you think,
flash it, they'd
"Oh,
flash
I got to
it.
go get popcorn."
And then they got in trouble for it too.
Yeah, they stopped doing it. I understand that.
Yeah.
That's
Well, same on the computer. I'm on the computer, right? And I'm, doing some fact finding. And then there's this thing that comes up. If you guys run into this thing comes up. Do you want one of these? And then, the choice is yes or no. I say no. And I press the no, and then a big ad comes on. It's like, it's not even, it's like, what is this?
Why'd you even ask if you're going to rub it in my face now?
Yeah.
That's obnoxious, man.
Oh.
I understand ads make revenue, and I yield to that, but respect me as a viewer.
Yeah.
Stop interrupting
agree.
me.
If you want to look at a distinct contrast between the way things are done over here with ads versus other countries, if you look at Japanese anime, and Nate will attest to this, and you buy like a Japanese anime DVD, they go to one commercial break, you see a little bumper in the middle of the show, and then it comes back, bumper comes up again. The episode is 25 to 26 minutes long. They have a 4-minute commercial break on the anime shows. The animes are the biggest things they have on TV over there in Japan. And that means they're the highest money-making things, and yet they only have 4 or 5 minute commercials. And then we have shows that go 20 minutes, maybe 21 tops on a half an hour.
Yeah, I know some shows that are 40 minutes long because they have 20-minute total of in commercial breaks.
Yep.
Yeah, and they split them up. I would rather have it in one chunk. Just give me a freaking 10-minute break at the half an hour mark. So you're not splitting up and ruining my show. Go watch
River
Hulu.
Monster show.
The reason why is because they know people will walk away. They'll be
Really?
like, "Oh, that 20-minute commercial break's coming. I'm going to get a coffee." And
Well,
they walk
that's
away.
the thing.
That's why
People
they don't do that.
It's not a problem in other countries, like in Japan. Clearly, they're making money off of these things with only one commercial break, right?
Well,
Like,
their
you watch
cost of living is
Hulu.
a lot higher.
Try
so
watching
people's
the show on
spending is
Hulu.
higher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say it again, Wobble. What'd you say?
Their cost of living is a lot higher, so products are more expensive. Well, over in America, everyone wants the cheapest thing possible. Well, Japan has just
Right.
come to accept it's expensive.
Yeah, you are right about that.
Okay.
But for example, take what was I going to say? Oh, you totally made me forget my train of thought. It was a good one.
See, there were too many commercials, and you forgot what you were saying. That's what happens. Like at night, my wife and I count the commercials. This is we're watching a station, and there's 10 commercials that come on. 10.
That's what
I
Hulu.
forget the program I'm watching by the time the commercials are over. I look at my wife and go, "What were we watching?"
Hulu was what I was going to say. If you go watch a show on Hulu that doesn't have normal, regular commercial breaks, they don't even respect you enough to put the commercial breaks in the right spot. So you'll be like in the middle of like some samurai movie, and the guy's about to get his head cut off, and you see the sword coming down, and then boom, hemorrhoid commercial. And the guy in the head, and it doesn't even fit in the freaking.
Yeah, it's just crazy. No
it ruins
segue.
shows for you.
Yeah, it's obnoxious, man.
All right.
Yep.
Let's move on to the next article. So, we're going to go on to, what one's this? Android malware sliding through Google's AdSense network. This is, in a sense, what this article is. It's like a black eye for, in a sense, like, it's this, what do you call it? It's not so much affecting Windows users so much, it's affecting, like, people that are using, like, Android phones that are using older versions of Android for the most part. It's not so much affecting the newer users. It's older versions of Android that have holes in them that Google has not patched and probably don't plan on patching because they're older. And it's a malware somebody used AdSense, basically part of a loophole through AdSense. So when you click on AdSense, it sends a malware into your device, which is, in a sense, a very bad thing. And this comes down to the fact, my own personal opinion on this is the fact that Google is so fragmented, and in a sense, like, part of that in some ways is good, but if Google would just put their hammer down a little more, and they already have tried this. So I wouldn't say so much blame Google, because they've already made a statement that providers have to give, I think it's 6 months before they update, where they have to update to the latest operating system that Google has put out. And it so far has not worked out that well since and this was like almost a year and a half ago they made this statement that this is what they require. And a lot of like people that issue Android phones like Verizon, AT&T, Sprint are not following these. There's still phones out there. There's tons of them out there, even on Android 4.2, which is beyond stupid, in my own opinion. Like,
well, the Straight Talk and all those low end phones they're running on 4.0 and stuff like
yeah,
that.
some are really bad.
So they're just opening a window.
Yeah.
By continuing to sell these old phones. Yes, they may be cheap. Oh, buy a $20 smartphone, but they are way behind in technology.
Even the people that root their phones too. Like you can't really root Marshmallow too well. So people back down to lower versions of Android just so they have a rooted phone and boom.
Well, not necessarily. If there is XDA is probably the best site for developers.
Yeah, they're awesome. It's an awesome site.
And so far I've kept up. Like now I'm running Android and on my phone, a very loose developer build on it. But these guys some of those guys are amazing on there, and they can do what they want and do what they can do it really good and get you the latest version for your phone, as long as these companies release their source code.
Yep.
And this is like what happened with why I hate LG now. I will not buy an LG product only because they pissed me off so bad with one of the phones I bought. I bought an LG, I think it was a G2. I think it was G2. Anyway, they stopped supporting that phone so fast after I bought it. It was probably the shortest phone I ever owned. And the development community couldn't do anything, and they kept on asking LG, hey, just give us a source code. We want to help these people that still have this phone. We want to develop for them. Give them the operating system. And they said, no, it's proprietary. You can't have it. And it's like, you don't even support the phone anymore. Give it to us. It's pathetic and it's childish.
They did the same thing with the V10, and it's a brand new phone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, I have it.
Yeah. So, but like a phone like mine, I have a OnePlus One, the first OnePlus One, and it's still being supported because they released the source code.
Yeah.
So on, done my rant. It'll cross that.
Yeah,
so speaking of that, you're gonna
it.
be running Quantum Break on that new PC.
Oh, I'm not buying that piece of shit.
Well,
That game's horrible.
Break, the one thing that surprises me is that it has DirectX 11 support and not DirectX 12, which is really weird.
but it's coming to Steam.
Yeah, it's coming.
No
to
Man's
Steam.
Sky is fun.
I can tell you why it's on DirectX 11 on Steam, because they had so much broken issues with using the actual DirectX 12
Yeah.
on the Windows release. The thing would not run at all.
So was this going to kill the rumors of Windows trying to kill Steam?
Actually, the rumors of Windows trying to kill Steam died like when they first released Tomb Raider, and it sold less than.
Well, no, the rumors are
10,000
just,
copies.
no, the rumors are really new.
It was like what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago,
No.
one of the people from Steam actually made the statement.
This argument, no, not that. Forget that. That's a whole different thing. This argument has been going on for about a year and a half when they released Tomb Raider, because everybody thought, oh, well, people are going to start buying the Windows Store games. No one's buying anything off of Windows Store.
Like,
The
you
games
looked
are
at the
not
Windows
selling
Store
on Windows
games?
Store. What was that?
With the Windows Store games, you got like Killer Instinct Free, King of Thieves, CSR Racing, Need a Hero. I don't know what the hell that is.
There's a couple of good games on there, but no one's buying them on there. They're just saying you either put them on Steam or we're not buying them at all.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like I was trying to say, Tomb Raider, the last I knew, sold less than 2% of its total PC sales on the Windows Store. The rest came off of Steam.
Yeah,
the
that's
reason
true.
why Quantum Break is coming out on Steam is because no one bought it on the Windows Store, and sadly
money.
enough, no one bought it on Xbox either.
And obviously Microsoft wants money. So
They need to convert the Xbox 360 and Xbox One people for this to work, because most people are already using Steam, and they do not want to switch over.
Yep.
yeah, that's true.
I used my Xbox One for one game. I only played Destiny. That's it.
Wow.
Well, you could always buy this LAN desktop with a GTX 1080, 1070, or 1060, and it has no M. It is the full graphics card inside these things.
Laptop, yeah.
Oh, shit!
And it's a laptop. So, like, okay, what's funny is this whole article, it does have some pretty good specs, for the most part.
10 minutes of battery life.
Yeah, that's it. They don't mention the battery life like once in the whole thing, and all they mention is how great it is for a LAN party. And it's like, okay, you're just technically marketing this to a plug-in laptop.
Well, Sega made one that has two 1080s in it. Sega notebooks. It's $4,000. Actually, I have the magazine in my bathroom. 'Cause that's
Does
what
anyone
it's-
remember they weren't laptops, but they were like laptops, but they always had to be plugged in? They're supposed to be like a portable.
Yo.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. What were they called? They actually had a
I don't
proper name.
remember. I know you're talking about. I
Horrible
can't remember.
decision.
Yeah.
Dude, hold up a second. You guys are gonna actually like this. because I'm doing my research. Forget about the extra like SSD thing. It's got the front of it. You lift up the flap and it's just pull out the SSD and put another one in.
No,
Yeah,
so it
it's
has
a
a hot
hot
swap.
swap.
Hot swap.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
You've never seen those?
I'm not a tech head
Been
guy.
around for like
The
10
thing
years.
looks
Yeah,
like
yeah, they've been going around for a long time.
Yeah, that's
The thing looks like a
Welcome
computer.
to
I've
Saturn.
like 3 computers I own have had that.
It's so cool. It looks like a Gundam
I love
foot,
this.
and you
This is
freaking
adorable.
open up the top of it and you pull the hard drive out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not a tech head guy. I didn't know about that. That's freaking
remember-
cool.
I bet you if you walked into the
HP
back
made one.
I bet you if you walked into the back of your job and saw where the server room is, you would see like about 30 of those plugged into a server.
Enter the Matrix, folks.
Yeah.
It'd be hilarious.
I don't
He's gonna send him back there. He's gonna
Like,
start
I don't care
unplugging
that
and
it's
see
been
how it
around for a
works.
while. That
Yeah,
shit's
he's gonna get
cool.
mad at work.
Like for a non-tech head like me, the graphics card is in a top slot. You slide the thing back, and you don't have to take anything apart. You can pull the graphics card out without having to unscrew anything. Like that to me is awesome.
Yeah.
That's perfect for a person like me.
Yeah, just make sure it's a storage hard drive, not your OS hard drive.
No, the storage
yeah.
hard drive's inside. That's the where they put the SSD for
Yeah.
data.
Yeah.
So you can just shut the computer down, pull it off, and put a different data one in if you don't have the room.
Well, hot swaps you can do it while the computer's running.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's
Hot
why they
swap.
that's why they call
But
hot swaps.
the hot swap is not as nearly as cool to me as the fact that I can slide the thing back and take the graphics card out easily without having to go through any tearing apart of the computer.
They did that once. Alienware did that with a hot swappable graphics card, and it failed miserably.
Well, it's not. It doesn't look like it's a hot swappable. It looks like saying you shut the damn thing off and it's an easy access port, so you don't have to take the side off of the computer
Yeah.
and move a bunch of
Oh,
stuff
wow.
to get to the card.
Yeah,
It's just an easy way to get to the card.
Yeah, because you don't want to hot swap a graphics card. You can fry things.
No,
And
it's
yourself.
just
Even most of the newer small form factor PCs don't even use SSDs anymore. They're M2 cards.
Yeah, the M2
Yeah, what do you
PCI
recommend?
slot.
SSD or M2 cards?
M2 all day long.
Yeah,
I've
they're,
been
they're
look-
like triple the speed.
I've
I've
got
been
7
looking.
SSDs in my computer right now.
Yeah.
And they like each of them operates at like 520 read, 520 write.
Mm-hmm.
The new SSD I'm looking at is 2500 read, 2500 write. It's a Samsung 920 Pro M2 drive.
Yeah.
But
Well,
the 800 gigs.
this thing claims that they're using all these all these iBuyPower 2s are the computers they're using for all the StarCraft tournaments. So that's a plus.
So yeah, because I've been looking at all those computers, and they kept they've come down way in price, the M2s.
Yes.
So I could get like a 250 gig M2 for the same price as a 250 gig SSD.
I would get an M2 before.
Evo
I would,
850.
Yeah.
But with some motherboards, they'll disable the use of an additional graphics card. Some motherboards.
All right. Well,
Some of the ones
here's,
I've been looking at can use 2 M2s.
here's a question
You're good.
for you. All right. It says motherboard capacity fits any mini ITX motherboard. Fits all.
Board.
What?
That's a tiny little board. I mean, if you're looking at ever upgrading, you're gonna have a hard time getting water blocks. If you ever wanted to do that, even some all-in-one water coolers have a hard time fitting on a mini ITX.
Yeah. So Titanfall 2 beta begins this week. So anybody else sign up for the beta?
I
Nah.
don't remember if I don't.
I
Think
don't
did.
have time. I don't have time.
I know for a fact it did not.
I didn't.
I'm excited for that. I got a story mode,
Yeah.
like a campaign.
I'm excited for Battlefield 1. Screw Titanfall.
Oh yeah. August 31st.
Is that when the beta comes out? Because they just asked me what I want to play it on.
Yep.
so.
August 31st.
Yes,
Cool.
I'm excited for that. I will
Yeah.
play that.
Yeah.
Yes, darling.
So everybody, we will be streaming that on August 31st. So
As long
be
as
ready.
there's no NDA.
So be ready for that. So, chatbot lawyer that overturned 170,000 parking tickets now helps fight the homeless. Bazinga, this is the article you found.
Yeah, I just think it's amazing that a chatbot is working as a lawyer.
Bella.
Like you ask it questions and it solves your answers, and it overturned 170,000 parking tickets. It's small, but it's a start.
Yeah, basically it looked through a whole, like, it has an encyclopedia it's looking on, and it gives you the answer that's needed.
Yeah.
Pretty much, that's all it is.
Yeah, it's just incredible. And now I don't know how it helps fight homelessness, but it's cool.
What chatbots are doing.
Chatbots.
The last chatbot I had was like, "Do you want to buy this computer?" No, I don't want to. Go away, little thing on the side of the screen.
I hate
Hackers
those.
say they hacked NSA and leaked group. 1 million bitcoins to, what do you call it, share more.
Didn't Bitcoin crash though? Isn't it worth
Yeah,
it?
big time. It's worth they're worth nothing now.
When did that happen?
When
When was the crash?
Recently-ish.
A couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised that hackers, well, if they did, that they hacked the NSA. That's just crazy.
That is crazy. That's scary.
Probably got
Well,
like
the thing, like, I
two
was listening to-
gerbils working on the computer in there. I don't see why not.
It says NSA linked group. Does that mean it's not actually the NSA, but like a contractor?
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is one thing that I found of like it was all over.
So
Just NSA.
So
NSA.
just to give you an estimate of how much, even though Bitcoin did crash, that was worth into the thousands.
$5.
No, it's right now. It's worth $574
per Bitcoin.
per one Bitcoin.
I've got half a Bitcoin, I think.
So you have about what?
$250.
Yeah, around that. It's a little over $200. So it's
You're
not bad.
rich.
It's not bad. Bitcoin's still worth a whole lot more than $1, everybody. So
Yeah.
Yep.
There was like a Bitcoin tipping service once, and some person randomly gave it to me in a forum.
that's kind of cool.
Nice.
So Google is killing off Hangouts on air September. Now you guys said this was the what do you call it? The thing to actually post that you're going to go live or set up a schedule.
Yeah, you know the thing that we were talking about that we're gonna do, but we realized it's only gonna show like the camera and not actually text players on. Yeah, that thing. We did it once, and then we were like,
We never did it again,
yeah,
but now it's going away.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, I'm guessing because everybody's speculating. This is all speculation, everybody. It's not actual fact. That they're going to go with Duo. I recently downloaded it. It's pretty much just FaceTime on Android.
But they're also saying that they're gonna push them to use YouTube Live.
Oh yeah, so yeah, they're gonna
The YouTube
because that's where it's
streaming
going to.
Yeah,
with YouTube gaming and stuff like that.
Yeah.
YouTube Live isn't that bad.
No, it's not.
It's really good
not
so
horrible.
far.
It's just if you don't have a lot of subscribers, you don't get seen.
Correct.
It's not like it
not
just
like
shows the highest streamers. It says, "Oh, this person you follow is streaming,"
Yeah.
and then you get the thing. But what stinks is when you're on YouTube itself and it says one of your people is streaming. Sometimes when you click on it, it doesn't show that they're streaming. So you're like, "I can't watch them."
Yeah.
It shows that they're streaming, but you click on it and there's nothing there, and you're like, "What the hell?"
Oh,
So
Mine sometimes says I'm streaming when I'm not, and when I am, I'm not.
So it's
Twitch being worse ever since someone else bought it.
Well, it's well, Amazon bought it, but besides that, it's for the most part. I think YouTube is working. It's great so far. Like Jay's 2 Cents, I watch all the time in his Tech Talk show. Last week it let me know like right when he went live, and I clicked right on. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Caught it right at the beginning of the show.
I caught it right at the end.
5-year-old becomes the youngest person ever to qualify to install Microsoft Windows. How old were you when you first installed Windows, everybody?
I never did. It was always the disc that did it for me.
Oh,
I don't know, 12.
When did Packard Bell come out? I had a Packard Bell XL that I had to reinstall Windows on. I think it was like 7, 6.
I think there was like a handful of floppy disks.
yeah, there was like a handful.
It was a lot harder than putting a disk or
the
a
first
flash
operating system I
drive.
installed was not Windows. It was like, I forget what it's called. It was I forget what the version of IBM was their operating system was called. But it was on a Tandy. I forget what model.
Oh
right
god,
now.
it's handy.
But I remember there was like
Geo.
Original IBM compatible.
I remember there was like 6 floppy disks I had to do. It was crazy.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I was 8 years old.
Yeah, I installed Windows 3.1. That's what it was.
Yeah.
However old GeoWorks is, that was the first OS I
Oh
installed.
my god.
Wow.
Wow.
Holy
My
shit.
brother was really into like, what was that? There was another OS around that time, like the more popular one. I forget what the hell it was called. But he also was into GeoWorks, so when I had a crap ass computer, he gave it to me, even though it was just handy downs.
That's awesome.
That's really
That is
cool.
brilliant.
So, as far as like from the past now to the far future, probably sooner future than we think, MIT and Microsoft research have made a smart tattoo that remotely controls your phone. This is freaking cool.
Yeah, is it just like a Bluetooth controller?
Kind of for the most part.
Using like that thin circuitry that they have, like this sticker-on circuitry they've already been making for a while.
Yeah.
Thanks for the follow, Chronic Funk Syndrome. I don't know what it says from here.
Chronic funk syndrome.
Chronic Fun Sin something. Thank you for the follow.
So, anyway, so I don't know. This is gonna be kind of cool.
Chronic fun syndrome. Chronic
Fun Syndrome. Okay, I added a C, but it sounded
For
cool.
funk, but oh well.
Funk.
So, Okay, I would love the fact that I remember
We're too white for the funk, people.
I don't know if anybody remembers. It still is like it's still in development. I think the wrist watch. It's like a little band, but it projects onto your arm the display of your phone. Now this is still not the thing is still in production, I think, but I love this hacked idea, like controlling your thing. I would love to have like a wristband around my wrist or either wrist to be able to control things in my house. That would be awesome. Be shut off the TV, shut off this. I could just hit buttons on my wrist, boom, shutting things off, turn it on, and it just looks like a piece of jewelry. That would be awesome.
That would be kind of nifty. I mean, oh hell, my buddy's doorknob that he has in his house is Bluetooth activated, so why not?
Oh wow.
Right? I was looking
it's
at some of
pretty
those
cool.
at Home Depot today.
They're expensive.
Yeah, they are.
So much. Like the lighting for his house, it was like 6 bulbs, and the activator thing was like $400.
Oh wow. Oh, was it?
It's a Wi-Fi Philips. Thank you, Philips Hue or Philips Lux, or it's something like that.
Yeah, those are. Oh my god, they're so expensive.
They're
They're
so
so nice though.
They're so cool, dude. I would love to. I might. I gotta stop. Stop putting.
So the new Lenovo VR Ready gaming PC looks like a Cylon. It looks badass, I think.
It's funny looking though.
It looks like a Cylon.
Now, what's that from?
Battlestar
Galactica, yes.
Oh.
It looks just like it. It's really cool looking. It looks like a basic square, like I don't know how big the dimensions are. Like a cube. It looks like a cube PC, which are pretty cool.
Yeah, I like cube PC.
I don't know. What do you guys think of this PC? Grim, you might want to buy this one.
I don't know, but something's.
How am I supposed to know? I don't know what's in it. All I
looks
know
like
is
a
that the book is
Cylon.
cool. It looks small as hell.
Lenovo's, they're nice. They make some really quality computers.
Yeah.
I'm
You
just
so have to buy a big box computer.
Okay, you know
I
when
mean,
you play Borderlands
doesn't
and it
look
has
like
like
a
the
big box
mini
computer,
enemies?
though.
That's what it
Yeah.
looks like, the
It
Cylon
doesn't-
version.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
yeah,
Actually,
yeah,
Wallace. Yeah,
I
it does.
agree.
Yeah.
Damn it! You put me on the verge again. I don't like this website.
Verge is like one of the best. Like, well, besides
That looks as small as the Revolt. So why would I
no,
want
that's like
that
twice
over
as
Revolt?
big as the Revolt, dude. That thing's
Why
a
did
giant
it-
square.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to start getting into the controversial subjects with Mr. Grimm here. So, as of yesterday, USA made a huge announcement about the Emmys and about Mr. Robot. They have been already green-lighted for the third season with, what do you call it, out, where they said, we don't need any more information. We have got all the information from this season, and we are green-lighting it for another season. Along with the fact they have nominated for 6 awards, including Best Drama Series and Best Actor in a Drama Series, and Best Supporting Actor in a Drama Series.
Can't take no more.
So it's canceled, right, Grim?
You people. You live in a fantasy world.
I don't watch TV. So.
They picked it up. Like, this doesn't prove me wrong. The ratings are still bombing. They picked it up because it's a good show.
No,
with
this is
good
what I'm getting
actors.
to.
Fine, but it's still bombing in ratings.
Well, no, this is what I'm
Which
getting
is
to
what I
also.
said.
We also have an article talking about how Nelson ratings really don't matter anymore. Nobody really uses them anymore. And they said it started with Netflix and Hulu started performing this trend, and then other stations have started catching on to it. This is why Netflix and Amazon do not release their ratings for their shows at all. They rely strictly on Twitter and like other social media to get their ratings. And there's like these L2 and L3, which is like based on...
Yeah, but those are all subscribed networks.
They are subscribed networks. But
HBO is, I mean, the channel you're watching that show on is not a subscribed network.
Well, no,
so
it's
they
not,
have to have a
no,
metric for money
it
that they're
actually
making
is
off
also.
the
It's
channel.
also on Amazon.
You said also.
Also.
Its main source is the channel you have to pay cable to watch, which means they have to keep track of those numbers because that's where the majority of their money comes in.
Not anymore, because they're getting streamed on Amazon, and they're also getting you can watch it from USA's website as well. So that's another source that's not in the Nelson ratings. And what they do is actually a lot of these companies have started forming their own algorithms to like skim social media to find out what more people are talking about, depending on what show and what not. And
That's
they
the
use
Warcraft one.
they use these algorithms to basically determine what's a better show on TV, what one's getting the views, what one's not getting the views. They also do like a big part is not by the Nelson ratings. They go by the basically esteemed colleges of like critics that are around the country that give honest feedback and good feedback depending on whatever field they're in. And they go by this. The Nelson ratings they have found over the years, if you look at the numbers for Nelson ratings over like the last 3 years, they have dropped more than half across the board because the Nelson company, what's called the Nelson family, if you usually do this, is slowly dwindling in people. In that company is dwindling out of. It'll eventually go away. The Netflix CEO distinctly said by 2030 he thinks it'll be gone. And he said if it's not gone, any TV corporation that's still on board with Nelson thing is not going to be around. And this is from one of the biggest producers right now in like the film world, which is Netflix. This guy invented a whole new model to putting out media.
Okay. So real quick, Mr. Robot did get that game that got released by Telltale.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
It's a game that's like a messenger app, kind of.
Oh, never mind. It's a mobile game.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, for you, yeah, it doesn't matter for you.
Argument. Boom, I win.
But it's a game. It's interesting. It's made so you're like a character in the show, and
that's
basically you message people, and someone replies back. It's always the bot. It replies back to you, and you get down to like what's going on, and you can hack into like certain servers. It's just a neat like little game to make you think you're like one of the characters in the show.
But that wasn't the debate, dude. I said that show didn't have a big enough following to dump money into it to make a game.
Well, Telltale did make a game.
Guess what? Mobile isn't a real game. It takes no money to make mobile games.
In your opinion.
No, they don't make. They don't, dude. They don't take a lot of money to make. All right, forget about whether you think they have games or not. They don't take a big budget to make. Anywhere near the budget of a real Telltale game. So it would explain why they would make a game on this show.
But they don't
have anything to lose.
They put full Telltale games on mobile.
What about Pokemon Go? That was crazy expensive.
Yeah.
To make, not to make.
And you got Clash of Clans, so that's advertising.
Oh my god, they spent
not
more
to
money on
make though.
advertising.
Those games took nothing to make though. That's what I'm saying.
You don't know that though.
No, Clash of Clans actually has
there's advertising where I live. It's on the damn train. They put money into it.
Yeah. Clash of Clans actually did spend a lot of money actually developing their game. That's actually
I don't believe that one bit, dude.
Well, you got to remember, they developed that game, but they have to add all that internet stuff in it for everybody to compete and how that all works.
Yeah, you don't know. And the fact is, like, developing a mobile game is actually very hard. But the fact is, you release it, especially on Android, you release it once, and then as soon as that's released, you get the feedback of all the bugs that are going on with all the different versions of Android, all the different phone versions, and you got to have a team of people.
And then you sit back and you don't care because you're making so much money off of microtransactions.
Yeah,
well,
but
no,
if people are cheating,
bugs,
it's not working, they have to fix it.
Yeah, it's a lot of work because it's not easy to find them bugs.
Look, I don't want to argue with you about mobile games because mobile games are the bane of this country and video games.
Well, we don't agree. We don't disagree. Yeah,
they are disgusting. They don't put any effort into programming or making the game. All they do is put the effort into figuring out ways to rip you off.
Did you lose your Farmville account and you're just bitter?
They're just terrible games, man. They're so terrible.
The problem is mobile gaming has a higher market share.
Yeah, of course it does. You can teach any idiot to play a mobile game.
Yeah, I know that's the problem.
Click, and it's like
and that's why everybody thinks that mobile games are so big because a lot of people have smartphones now compared to what it was in the past.
I'm going to point. All right, this is not going to be offensive in any way. I'm just going to point out simple reality. No, listen, I'm pointing out simple reality. Mobile games are to gaming as the Wii was to gaming.
Yeah, but here's the thing with mobile games.
A billion people will buy it, but they'll stop playing it a month later. Yeah. That's what happened with the Wii. That's what happens with mobile games. You know, they're constantly throwing away customers for new customers. You know what I mean? Because it's just a constant flow of I played this game for a couple of weeks and it's boring as hell.
We know somebody that might be listening right now that plays on two devices at the same time the same game.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? You know what? I have no room to talk because when I played Dark Age of Camelot, I would have two accounts running on one computer, then another account running on another computer. My brother and I would do that all the time.
Wait, what game is it? What is this game that he plays on two accounts?
AAA games have gotten way too expensive. So someone can say $100,000 into an app. Say that's a lot, but then they can make that money back on ad revenue, even if it's just 5 months of people playing. They're probably making that money back, and then they build the next game on it, and they get like the momentary interest in it. It's just a cycle.
And they build their way up.
Yeah, I don't disagree with the amount of money that they make off it or anything. It's built for people who don't want a game for more than a couple of weeks. That's what
but it's profitable. Like, say, let's just use like Fallout New Vegas, which wasn't profitable at first, but people love that game. But so, like, you make a cheap mobile game, which it's profitable, and it's going to continue to happen because it's profitable.
Well, the real problem with AAA games is that the budgets aren't. It's not the game development that makes the budget. It's the ridiculous amount of money they spend on advertising and not doing it.
How much do you think like Battlefield 1 is spending on advertising compared to the advertising they're doing on mobile games?
Millions.
You would be surprised at how much money they have to waste for their backwards way of advertising that game. Like having an entire event with stars they had to pay to come see their game when they could have just streamed it on YouTube from their offices and they still would have got the same amount of exposure. The problem in the AAA industry is that they have people who are running it that are stupid.
Maybe, but they might also be trying to appeal people who are not part of the gaming, like media that might normally not care.
Yes. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. That's would be the market.
That's what they're trying to do, but they're wasting so much money doing it. It just doesn't make any sense. All you have to do look at a game like League of Legends, who continues to grow without going. You don't see them put on an event where they called in some freaking celebrities like Jamie Foxx to play League of Legends and talk about how amazing it is, and they keep growing because
League of Legends goes everywhere.
Yeah.
They're at
but
PAX.
they don't. Yes, but then they're going to PAX to meet their fans that play the games.
No,
you don't see them set up their booth and call in.
Not.
Yes, they are.
We were there.
Yeah, we were there.
Dude, that's exactly what they do. They build a booth to get to the people who play their games. The people at PAX are the people who play their games. They're not building a booth at like the Emmys to get a bunch of rappers to talk about their games.
They have an entire room.
They have half of the arena.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Exactly. Dude, you're missing the point. When they build that arena, is it for them to trance out a bunch of wasted money and things that mean nothing to the game to get people to buy the game, or is it for them to promote the game?
You know how much they spend for theirs?
So you see like Kardashians at a freaking League of Legends thing.
I would be surprised.
Or rappers or movie stars. No, you see the people who play the game, you see the pro players who play the game, and they're the ones that promote the game to the people who buy the game.
With all due respect, now I can see what you mean, but what about the multimillionaire YouTube stars, i.e. Yogscast? We met Hat Films, we met them. Mm-hmm. Let's see, Gilly the Kid was there. He's up there in the ratings.
Well, they are part of the community, right? Inviting them makes sense because you're inviting these people who are going to help get your message out there. But the problem with these big companies like EA, like I said, is that they don't invite people that belong to gaming to promote their games. And it doesn't work.
Now that it's Hillary Clinton, but
yesterday, I don't know if everybody tuned in yesterday. Yesterday was a big Battlefield 1 stream. What do you call it? DICE had a big event at a huge stadium. I forget how many streamers they actually had there. They had a lot. And all these streamers were allowed to go onto the PCs and stream. So there was a bunch of high-level streamers that were streaming Battlefield 1 yesterday. And that's how they promoted the game. And now we got a release date for the beta, which is August 31st.
Did they stream this live?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
And the whole mobile gaming thing and bringing... Like they may make these games small to bring themselves up so they can make a big game, such as Hello Games, where they made Joe Danger, the mobile app.
Joe Danger started on the PSN and it was a full-fledged game.
I played it on the mobile phone first.
Yeah, they converted it to a mobile phone thing.
Angry Birds. Look at Angry Birds.
Yep.
Oh my god, Angry Birds!
Really crappy game that I loved.
Oh yeah.
But now it's a freaking movie.
From hell.
It's a franchise from hell. Their RPG is really good though.
The movie really wasn't that bad.
Oh, you saw it?
It
looks adorable. I'm not gonna lie.
It really wasn't that bad. I thought it was gonna be horrible.
No.
I just think that in general, these companies could save a lot of money by being smarter about their promotion.
That sounded diabolical. What was that?
That was the chamber, man.
I thought that was like.
I'm waiting for somebody to go. I'm waiting for an old lady to pop up this house.
You just need to hear someone get back in your cage.
Oh, man, that was a descending scream, man.
Oh.
Somebody was cast into the nether regions.
Christine, go! Wobbles, what are you doing, man? What are you doing?
I was just looking at gaming news. I didn't do
Yeah,
it.
man.
So, what do you
I
call
mean, I
it?
got a window open. There's like a park outside, so who knows? Maybe
Okay.
Yeah, that was a park noise. Yeah,
It was a park.
Yeah.
Nothing. Don't worry about it. My God.
Yeah, there was a kid crawling down a well.
Each have our own
hanging
hobbies.
out the window.
Each have our own hobbies.
That
I'm
was
trying to do the
park noise,
podcast.
yeah.
Oh man, that was great.
Holy moly.
So,
Park by Hades, man.
oh jeez.
Nate, are we still gonna hit that Final Fantasy thing?
Yes, we will right after this article. So be ready.
All right.
So anybody who watched Mr. Robot last week, there was a big hack that took place. And what's actually interesting is a lot of people thought that hack was complicated. And this article I found was actually, because I watched it, I was like, okay, that's fairly simple. And it was fairly simple. And this is why they had Angela do it in the show. All it was using a femtocell to basically duplicate the signal, to get the signals from the FBI cell phones into the network so that Elliot could hack into it. And they had Angela do this, and you saw Darlene actually walk into the motel with a little key card thing on her hip. And I have one of these things. I take payments for doing computer work.
Oh yeah, Square.
Yeah, I have one of these readers,
I
and
take payments.
so she had one of those on her clip, and she actually grabbed the key card from the service attendant from the motel, grabbed your key card, slid it through there. Then she hooked up this little hack that was invented. I think the hacker was from Switzerland. This little device, and you can look online how to make this thing.
Don't recommend it.
Don't go break it into motels. But you can take your Square key card reader, slide a card through it, take that device, and hook it to this other little hack device. You can find out how to build online. I won't say how. And it will digitally read out the numbers that you just scanned into a database. And then you can use that database to actually make a device to open up anything you want. Pretty much this was the doors in a hotel. And it unlocks the doors. And then she proceeded to walk into the hotel. She pulled out her phone. She also pulled out an antenna you saw her, put it in the window. Now, these are pretty much directional antennas. They direct it so you can pick up the Wi-Fi on basically the building next door to you. And she was also using a rubber ducky. USB rubber ducky, which is basically, it allows sniffer Wi-Fi signals, loose Wi-Fi signals, stuff like that. But basically the antenna she used, everybody thought that was like a really high-tech device. Something. The group Hack 5, I think it was Hack 5, made one out of a Pringles can.
Yeah.
And then, so you can just basically, if you're in a motel and say the building next door to you, you're there and you want to get Wi-Fi, and Wobbles, I think you ran into this problem. You want to get better Wi-Fi, the hotel next door to you has better Wi-Fi. You can use one of these antennas and get their Wi-Fi instead. And basically it proceeds. Obviously the end of the hack was, what was funny, it was just kind of a comical moment I think they did just to make it more suspenseful, is the Wi-Fi went out. And so Angela has to go into the computer and basically just reboot the wireless signal. And basically anybody knows how to do that. That's fairly simple.
So you're saying they threw a trope at you?
Well, no, I'm saying this hack was really simple. They did it by the book, and they did exactly how the hack would actually take place. They did not cut corners. They did not do anything very like over elaborate. They did it exactly how it would have been done if it was a
But they threw the trope of the online shutting off, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. It's just they threw in that comical moment. You know what I mean? You got to have that.
All right, take a second.
So Grim, if you want to start on your Final Fantasy thing. Well,
Are you sure you're done with Mr. Robot? Since
Yeah.
you got to talk about him 3 times an episode.
You and Bazinga go on about Final Fantasy and Mr. Tech Geek.
Huh?
I'm sorry, I'm giving Nate a minute to make sure he's absolutely done.
He's gone. He's fixing the green screen again.
Okay.
They sat on the
Okay,
bottom.
well let's start off real quick with from now on we hold him to one Mr. Robot a week. He picks one story, that's his story, he has to pick it. Okay. Anyway, as we go on. So Final Fantasy 15 has been delayed.
Yes, I saw that.
Sad
Like
news.
November.
Yep, sad news, everybody knows. But something that not everybody knows, because the media in this country, when it comes to gaming media in America, has become extremely biased against Japanese developers and spun this into a negative, is that they released a video talking about how the reason why they want to delay the game is because they have a significant day one patch, and they don't want people who don't have internet to have access to this patch. So they're holding the game back so that they can put the patch into the game on the disc. So nobody will be left out of having the significant patch.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
so they're
making the smart choice.
They're doing it for the fans, like, for example, the Japanese people who don't have internet. Internet's not huge over there yet. There are people over here who play single-player RPGs who don't have internet access, and the media did not tell that part of the story. Instead, they just flipped out and started claiming that, like, it's in trouble, it's trouble development, it's a dead game, it's going to bomb. They basically took the negative spin on it because it's a foreign game, and I don't know if anybody follows reviews nowadays, but every time a Japanese game comes out, they shit on it. They always point out about how bad it is in comparison to Western games.
Yeah, it happens, but I'm glad a company's actually making the choice instead of just releasing it too quick.
Are the Japanese games no good?
No, they're two different styles. So, like, a Western game, take, for example, a game like Elder Scrolls Skyrim. That game is built to have this lush, beautiful world, right? You travel around this world, it's a living world, the NPCs live their own lives, do whatever, and it's real deep, and you can do just about anything you want. The trade-off is combat in the game is kind of average, not too great. The story is never really that good in any of these open world games, especially in Skyrim. It's just an average story. The stories in these dude, the stories in these open world RPGs are not very good. I've played Skyrim. It's cool. It's got these cool elements to it, but you find yourself just wandering around doing all the cool stuff because the story itself is not as compelling as doing all the cool stuff.
It's about the world.
Yes, exactly.
I liked it both, really.
Yeah, the story's not bad. I'm not saying it's like terrible, but like you don't get attached to characters because the characters are kind of bland half the time. The armor and equipment and dungeons all look the same but laid out differently. Like, how many dungeons in Skyrim look different? They all look the same. They all had the same 4 or 5 palettes in them, and they're just laid out differently. These are the drawbacks of Western RPGs, but no one ever complains about the drawbacks. Like, you would agree with me that the combat in Skyrim is usually pretty shallow, right? In Elder Scroll games.
Like, I guess, but I mean, like, I tried playing like Black Desert Online and a bunch of the other Korean and Japanese.
Well, these are MMOs, dude.
Well, I understand, but we're talking about combat, right?
Yeah, when I'm talking about combat, I'm not talking about MMOs, because in MMOs, their combat's pretty basic too, because you got to be able to react online and all that stuff. So when I mean the combat in Elder Scrolls, it's the basic design of like how pretty much every battle unfolds the same way. If you're a caster, you're just throwing these balls that look almost the same with different colors. And when you're playing a melee guy, you literally just walk up, hold down the parry button, or the block button until they hit you, then hit them back. Like, the combat has never been the strong point in Elder Scroll games. It's the world around it.
Okay.
And I'm not saying they're terrible. I'm just saying it's the world around it that makes them great. And then you look at these other games from Japan where their world around it is not as great as Skyrim, but they put a lot of detail into their systems and their mechanics and like their character progression. And all that gets ignored because it's too complex for the people that are reviewing them.
Yeah, no, it's true.
And if you don't believe me, I'll point out that the Tales of Zestiria is not the greatest game ever, but it's a pretty good game. But I read multiple reviews from Western people who didn't understand the combat, and they were like, the combat just seems awkward, it doesn't really work. You hold down the block button to block. I'm like, no, you don't. You have to tap the block button at the right time to block.
Yeah, it's like a parry system.
Yeah, and they're like, but if you want to dodge attacks, you have to hold down the L button so you can sidestep. No, you don't. You hit back in the X button at the precise time, and you'll dodge the attack. They're getting the controls wrong because they didn't bother to try to learn the system because it sounded too complex to them. Yeah. And then the game gets knocked in the review because of it.
But there are some games like the Tales of the other two that came out in PlayStation 3. The two Tales games. What the hell they called? Anyway, those two Tales games. I can't think of the name right now.
Tales of Xillia and Tales of Xillia 2, Tales of Grace F, and Tales of...
Tales of Xillia, Tales of Xillia 1 and 2. Tales of Xillia 2 I didn't play through because Tales of Xillia I got so tired of, once I beat that game, of every 5 seconds of a cutscene. I was like, okay, I'm done with damn cutscenes. I don't want to see a cutscene. That's a drawback of Japanese games. Yeah.
Basically, my argument is balled up into a simple problem of one game is very complex in the world design, but the other is very complex in its characters and mechanics. And the ones that are complex in the world design get all this credit for being complex like that, and they don't knock them for the lack of complexity in their mechanics and their character design. And then on the other side, the other ones get knocked for having a less complex world.
Yeah.
That's what bothers me.
It's a bitter balance they have to maintain.
In Final Fantasy 15's proof, because they are complaining that the combat system looks janky. But if you watch the videos, it's not that it looks janky; it's that there's a lot more going on than in like a Skyrim or a Mass Effect.
Yeah.
There's a parry system, block system, dodge system, combo system, unite system where you have to use certain moves so that your teammates jump in. There's a spell system where you have to build up a spell bar, and then there's a teleport system so you can throw the blade and teleport back and forth. All this stuff so that it looks frantic when you're moving around.
Yeah,
and that just.
And granted, it's for the detailed user, the person who loves. He wants more detail than RPG.
Exactly.
He's sick of the old way. Now, this segues right into something else. Okay, the book I'm reading. This is a game that I think everybody here will. If this game was ever made, that's in this book, everybody would be playing it right here. The book is. I'm not sure if Wobbles, you've read this book by Neil Stephenson, Remedy.
I don't think so.
This is a game he thinks would kill WoW.
It's one of the newer Neil Stephenson books. Basically, it's about Remedy it's a play on the word "read me" because it's a virus. Except it's called Remedy, so people get it confused and accidentally click on it. And it's basically this guy developed this game, and his main plan in the book was he wanted to make a game that would beat World of Warcraft. And they do. They eventually do make this game in the book that beats World of Warcraft as far as complexity, because they hired this guy who's so sick of the terrain in all these RPGs. That's one thing that bugs him out of all of it. He's just sick of the terrain. He wants to make a real world terrain, and he wants to make it big as the planet Earth. So he hires this guy to do it and program it. So he does that. And this world becomes like so detailed to the fact that you could just be walking around, you can look behind you and see your footprints. Not only that, you see your footprints, but you can look at your footprint and see what dust you kicked up to see what kind of mineral was underneath there. So that's how detailed this gets. Great. I don't know what kind of computer would take to run this, but holy, or run the service to maintain everything that goes on. And basically, then it goes down to even more detail. Basically, in the book, the Western users of the game are they pay a lot more money to be in the game, to be elven warriors and all these other things. They pay all this high money to be a character like that but you can play the game for free if you want, like a lot of the Chinese players in this, and Southeast Asian players in this book, because they play it for free because they play the mining characters, because money has to control the world like a real world. They make it as real as they can get it as far as economy-wise, as keeping cities running. All these things actually have to happen, just like kind of like a cities game as well. And basically, the NPCs are all controlled by players. There's not one not one programmed NPC in the game. They are all players, and they all serve a role. Now, imagine that of a game you could actually play and make money on. And it's funny because all the Chinese players in the game are actually playing the game and mining and getting gold and earning gold, and they actually make money because they're playing a boring role. So the people that own the game actually pay them to do this. And while the Western players have to pay more money than anybody else because all they want to do is run around with their swords and their bow staffs and to kill things.
Okay, Nate. Now, a couple days ago, you said to me that nobody would ever play World of Warcraft again if this game existed. Yeah. And I'm going to point out an obvious fact that most MMO players and most gamers in general know, and that is usability and entertainment is what's most important. People are not going to switch from World of Warcraft just because a game has a ton of detail. They're going to switch from it if it has enough stuff that piques their interest and makes them enjoy the game. That's why World of Warcraft still to this day does not die. Well, Woodrow, when's the last time you played and now you want to play the expansion? Is he not even here anymore?
But I was going to get into that. They also went and hired some of the best sci-fi writers on the planet to write storylines, and then they have a whole team basically putting things together so these storylines take place and the lore is there and all these ancient things that happened are taking place. Whoops, are taking place. Yeah,
but now you're cheating because what you're saying is anything you want can happen in this game. Anything exists can happen in this game.
It's basically it's a world that controls itself, and it creates its own lure at this point.
Okay, World of Warcraft starts doing that. Then they copy the tech and they build it so that it creates its own lore.
The point is the book. The review of the book. That's the whole point.
No, your argument was it would kill World of Warcraft. I'm saying if tech like that existed, then Blizzard would implement it into World of Warcraft, and people would still go there instead because of the lore that already existed in the world they created.
Well, no,
in the first place.
that's actually what kind of happens in the book. But that's besides the point. The book it turns into a virus. Basically, it gets into infects, and and anybody who likes Neil Stephenson, it's a great book. It has like a whole Breaking Bad element with Russian mobsters and all kinds of crazy things that are happening. Basically, traveling around the world to find these like trolls that are just like forming this virus to make money off other people. And there's this giant galactic war that starts taking place in this world that nobody's ever seen before. That the company that runs the game has to deal with this. And they're like, what is going on here? This is going to be like an apocalypse to our world. It's a great read. You mean
it could be the end of the world?
Well, no, it's the end of basically. It's like a world war going on in this virtual world, and it's causing like mass chaos with the development. It's a great read if anybody's played an MMO.
So sounds like an excellent book, but
if this game, this is what's going to happen. If this game came out, right? I'm sorry to say this, right? Yes, a lot of people will leave WoW, but then they'll go back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because the minute you realize that all you're doing is doing life in a game, and you're not doing anything fanciful, you're just like, whatever.
And granted,
I don't want to run a store for 4 hours a day just staring there. Would you like to buy some cheese?
Well, no, the fact is, like, by the time we have the computing power to even make a game this detailed, WoW is already going to be on top of this idea. Oh, if it still exists by then. But the amount of computing power would
WoW is not... I'll tell you right now, WoW's not going anywhere, man.
If EverQuest is still around, WoW will still be around.
You're right.
Yep.
I really liked EverQuest. That's probably my favorite.
Well,
EverQuest 2.
The newer EverQuest is supposed to be a lot, kind of like, it's supposed to be like where you can destroy towns completely and shit.
Yeah.
This brings me to
that project.
They did.
To an idea. How about we start forming the Force Nate to finally play World of Warcraft Club?
And honestly, I was playing it for an hour and a half tonight doing the new Demon Hunter.
Yeah.
And the game's fun, but it's still World of Warcraft. I get bored with it after a bit, so I'm done with the quest line. Now I'm like, oh, now I got to play WoW.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying we should do like an experimental thing where we make Nate play some World of Warcraft with me just for fun because he's never tried it.
2 again, hands down, because that game is an absolute blast.
Yeah, how's it look now? Have they upgraded anything? Or is
it looks nice with a better computer. I'll tell you that.
Really?
Problem with EverQuest 2 is the PvP is terrible. So I
love it.
Well, I think Grim, you actually
PvP's tough.
You watched the same thing I did about the newer EverQuest that it's still in development.
EverQuest Next.
That got canceled. That got canned.
Oh, I did not know that. I wasn't keeping up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that's an idea that would actually work, and I think other MMOs should implement it, where you can actually go into a town and completely wipe out the NPCs, everything, just burn it to the ground.
But see, here's the problem with a lot of those lofty ideas. Guild Wars brought up all these great ideas, and everybody got all excited about how the things Guild Wars were going to do. Then they started playing, and they realized that all those ideas kind of hinder the base thing that made WoW so fun.
Well, no, the one thing... Okay, Red, I can say this. One thing about Guild Wars is that's the only game I've been able to play where I haven't gone, okay, I'm not playing this. And the reason why is because I hate having the fetch quests. Oh, here, go do this. Then you have to come back to that person.
You're trying to tell me Guild Wars 2 didn't have fetch quests?
Well, no, they did. No, they did. But you could go and talk to everybody in the town, then go do all the fetch quests all at once, and you don't have to go back to the town at all.
Yeah, but you know what else you had to do? Go from section to section, stand around doing these boring public events that were all over the place. It was the same type of tedious thing, except being a fetch quest, it was travel from point to point, stand around, do these boring events, move to the next point. So in a way, it was still the same very annoying pattern of tedious stuff.
I agree with you, but I didn't get as bored as much as I did after like the third fetch quest and going, I'm not playing this.
And then the worst part is that World v. World thing ended up being terrible, and I really wanted that to be good.
Yeah, that's true.
I was so hyped about that stuff.
In the end, for me, there really hasn't been an MMO made yet to grab my attention.
Well, you never played World of Warcraft, so
No, I mean, yeah, but the fetch quests, though, they have fetch quests. That would annoy me.
it doesn't matter, dude. You never played World of Warcraft. If you had played World of Warcraft at its height with a couple of friends, like if you had joined my guild or Woodrow's guild when he was playing, I bet you it would have dragged you right in, kicking and screaming, and then you would have sat there and pretended like you didn't enjoy it, but you would have kept playing it. That's the reality of World of Warcraft.
I had
Continue.
I had a lot of fun. Woody and I played once in a while. I had more fun playing with like a group of people. It was just fun with a whole bunch of people. When a lot of times Woodrow, he likes to play the game by himself.
Yep, me too.
But I don't feel like I'm gonna pay $15 a month to play a game by myself. Baloney. Not doing it. That's why I don't play them, because
Like,
most of the time I won't do that.
a lot of the, like, I didn't mind playing with you, that you weren't, because you weren't bad. Like playing with people that don't really follow directions and get people wiped all the time.
Ugh.
It just drives me nuts. I hate that.
Yeah.
But my point, though, still stands. I believe that if Nate played it when it was big, he would not be sitting here claiming that no MMO has ever grabbed his attention. World of Warcraft is a game that grabs just about anybody's attention if they sit down and play it with a couple of people. Maybe not now, but back then at its height when everybody was playing about it and talking about it, you just cannot avoid it, Nate. You would have been hung up on it in no time.
Well, no, it's main things. Tony, you ready?
Yes. Tell me
Okay, everybody's ready for.
Please tell me it's going to be what the hell is WoW. That would be a great question.
I can find it.
I signed up for a bit during that.
Nope, right there. I got it.
All right.
So,
Everybody ready?
something got made special for your comments of the
Mr.
week.
Tony Tampa.
Let's have it.
The whole podcast breaks. I'm not seeing anything on the stream.
Oh,
Tony.
man.
What do you have
Oh,
to
there
say?
we go. Shouldn't it be called Camper's Comments?
Camper's comments. What I want to know is why, when a woman asks you what you want for Christmas or for your birthday, and you say a computer game and or fishing stuff, they then say, "No, I'm buying your clothes."
You know, you could take that one even deeper too, right? When, what do you want for dinner? Anything. Let's go to Burger King. I don't like Burger King. Then you didn't mean anything.
That's right. That's right, man.
No, that's very true.
They're deceivers, man.
But as far as like the comment with the clothes thing, I think that matters on the person. Like, for instance, Maria's gotten me like exactly like I don't tell her what I want or anything, and she's got me like exactly like what I wanted, like a newer book that I really wanted a special edition of, or something. She has got it for me. And I never asked,
Or that's what you taught yourself to say.
So she like she's very in tune to what I want, which is cool.
Okay, man.
Oh, dude,
But,
breaking
no,
news, man.
But the whole food thing, I definitely agree with you.
Dude, breaking news.
What's the news?
Sega's a piece of shit just like Nintendo.
Uh-oh, what?
Streets of Rage Remake 5.0 final release was released, and immediately cease and desist order was sent and taken down.
Oh.
These people don't understand. That's why no one's buying your games, dude. No one wants to play your games because you're shitting on your fans. It's as simple as that.
Because
It's an old game.
Basically, they made a game. Like there was a game series that came out on Sega Genesis called Streets of Rage. A group of fans probably made a game called Streets of Rage 5, released it themselves with the title. The company that originally made it, Sega, sent them a cease and desist letter, said, "Sorry, that's our property. You can't do that."
Okay, all right.
Technically, they didn't make a Street Fighter 5. They remade the original
Oh.
way better than this one. Like, I remember playing
But
like
in
an
a
old
sense,
school version
That's
of this.
kind of like it's kind of like I don't know. It's weird because you got to wonder who's doing what and who's in control of what. Because like the hack site, though, well, it's not a hack site. It's a site for hacked versions of Street Rage 5. And even the original developer at Street Rage 5 made a comment online. He said, "I love this thing. This is awesome. What you guys have done."
Well, they never made Street Rage 5, so...
Well, no, I mean Streets of Rage. It was a site that's made. It's made for a hacked version of Streets of Rage. And even the original developer said, "This is awesome. I love this. This is a great thing you've done with something I made." And and Sega never took it down. They still leave it up. It's up there. Anybody can use it.
I tell you, I really hope they don't do that with Mother 4.
Oh, if Nintendo does that with Mother 4, a lot of people are going to be pissed.
And before someone gets all weird, Mother 4 is a is a Earthbound game.
Yes, it'd be
Which
known
is
as
a-
Earthbound in America.
So I can't, but it's a kind of game you might like, dude. It's like it's an RPG, but set in like 50s America when you're playing a little boy that's like.
And then you add like
I might like that.
and
the
you add like
50s.
Twilight Zone into it.
Manny,
With
I mean,
aliens.
Tony Campbell, you're old, huh?
I'm old, man. That was my heyday.
Oh,
Hey man, I didn't mean to be offensive with it.
Oh, cool, man.
Like, oh,
You
cool,
like
man.
the 50s? Well, so did I.
Are you sure?
You sound like a German professor there.
What is this, velvet?
Oh man.
Jeez.
Oh.
One of these days, I got to get over here and play some of these vintage games.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you gotta get here for a game
That's what I
smash.
gotta get for a game
Yeah.
day, you know.
Yeah, and anybody who wants to check out, definitely check out Game Smash. So we're getting near the end of the show, so we have a special guest for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, the Raven.
All right, so I found a working copy of that, Nate. I'll bring it up to Bazinga so we can try streaming it sometime.
Yeah.
Like a full-blown working copy of the
So-
Streets of Rage remake.
We have a special guest, the Raven. So
Yeah, or just Raven.
Iron Raven.
Iron Raven.
Iron Raven.
Oh, okay. So he'll come once in a while to the show just to talk with us.
Quote the Raven, nevermore.
yeah, and possibly, definitely, we'll be asking him later. We haven't asked him yet because we're going to be doing a special, like, fall-esque kind of episode where we're going to be talking about some creepy things, stories of things that go bump in the night.
Yeah.
Dude, don't talk about my ex that way.
And there's going to be a good amount of people that we're asking to get involved in this episode. It's going to be a really involved episode. We're going to do a lot of like prep work and stuff.
It probably won't be live,
Most likely not.
but it'll be on YouTube. Definitely.
It will be on YouTube. It will be very as interesting as we get. And if we can get a 360 camera, we're going to do a 360 camera version of it. But that's only if. They cost a lot.
But that's all we got for today, right?
That would be it. That's all for today.
Excellent. I need sleep.
You need sleep. So,
We'll
Mr. Raven, would you like to say something about yourself before we close up?
I'm a crusty veteran.
So, everybody, this is
That's funny because Nate's a crusty bitch.
Oh!
So this has been Get Tekt every week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Come and watch us live if you can.
Oh, shit. You almost forgot, dude. This weekend, Game Smash will be
hold
this.
on. Don't announce that yet. Not till after. So anyway, if you want to check, if you want to check us out, watch us live always at 7 p.m. on Twitch on Wednesday. If you can't catch us live, that's fine. Go over to YouTube, catch the catch the show. You can watch the show. If you're not into watching the show, listen to our podcast on Podbean, Google Play, any services you want to use. I'm sure we're up there. We're on everywhere. And give us a like, give us a follow, give us a subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like.
Let us know what you'd like to see.
Yes, we'll be glad to hear anything. We just appreciate all our fans and thank you very much. And thank you, Wobbles, for joining us this evening.
Yeah, no problem.
That was great.
All right.
And we'll see you next week.
Yep.
Bye.
America's a great country.